If you want to text for anything, you can call comedian Chris Franjola a lot of things. You can call him singer, a dancer,
absolutely,
a raconteur, but above all, he's a tall drink of water. And it's been a long time since you've been on the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
How are you guys
You
doing?
just got into town. I appreciate you making the time for us. Because you don't have a show tonight, right?
No.
Tomorrow and Saturday.
I'm
right
here for
around the corner
this.
here at Hilarities.
Yeah.
I appreciate you making the time.
Great time to be here in Cleveland with all that's going on with your team, your baseball team. And it's, you want your team to get into the playoffs, you book me at your comedy club.
Yeah, that's
right. Your team will somehow make it into the playoffs.
Yeah. When was the last time we saw you? It was a long time. Because it's not just that we haven't seen you. Do you come through that often anymore or no?
I did. I was just doing like one night midweek for the last couple of times.
Well,
while
last
I
time
was
you were
in
here,
some Ohio other place.
Okay.
I stopped in.
You were in here in April of 2021.
Height of like COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, were you really?
But it was the week, like I was out of town that week, and I don't think, we weren't having people in, but I was out of town because I wanted to come see you, but there was like the 1 week that I wasn't in town.
That was the last time I was here. Yeah. So then I'm back. I'm excited to be back. I love it here. I love this club.
And they love you too. I mean, Hilarities, we sound like broken records when we say it, but there are people who will come specifically to do that club.
Absolutely.
People who would otherwise be doing theaters and things like that.
Yeah.
Because Nick and the club are awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we do them all. So,
right.
They're not all Hilarities.
No.
Yeah, so this is exciting.
Right.
Sometimes they're bowling alleys in Michigan, right?
Oh, I've done that. Oh, those were the days. I'll be back again.
What was the first, because you've been doing it quite a while now.
Uh-huh.
What was the first time where you got, because you were doing a bunch of crap gigs like everybody does when they're starting out.
Right.
What was the first gig you got that wasn't a club, because that's kind of the normal artery of you're coming up, getting better spots at the clubs. What was the first gig that you remember getting where you were like, okay, this is pretty, maybe I'm on to something here. Like, this is I feel like I'm a pro now.
I think I did the Roxy on Sunset Boulevard in L.A. Like, they were doing comedy for a minute. And I had a pretty good turnout.
So you weren't like opening for Faster Pussycat.
No. I wish.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but there was a band on that night that never really took off, but they were huge in LA called Powder.
Okay.
I remember they were like kind of like a No Doubt ripoff, with like a female lead singer, kind of ska-y, punky, whatever. That Orange County sound that was hot there for a minute. And they were but they did comedy before that, and it was the one time I was like, all right, this might be happening. Like, people showed up, I had a good set. It was a rock club, so that's not easy to do.
Sure,
stage is too high, and everything. They're just waiting for Powder at the time.
Was it just you, or was there like a showcase?
A guy named Sam Tripoli. You guys know Sam Tripoli? Yeah, Sam Tripoli and myself, the two of us. It was fun.
Powder, they have a one-line Wikipedia page.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah. Vocalist Nanette Terhart and the guitarist Phil X. Or Phil the 10th. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad they didn't take off, because they were not great. They were not nice to me.
They were not nice to you.
No, they were
really?
They were actually,
they were dicks to you because they were the cool
They were feeling
band.
themselves. Yeah, they were the up and coming band in LA, and they were feeling themselves. So it was a rough day for me.
That's why you got to be cool to everybody.
I know.
You just don't know, man. I mean, you might feel like you're on the top of the world, even though. Because in L.A., and I only lived there for a couple of years, 100 years ago, but it's like, you can feel very heady very quickly. Because it's a company town. And so you never have, like, if you come up in Chicago, like I kind of did, or any other kind of city.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of people who will kind of let you know repeatedly where you are in the pecking order.
Right.
L.A., it's very easy to just feel like, man, this is never going to end for me.
If I had $1 for every guy I waited tables with, and I would watch him get a commercial of some sort, whatever, maybe Pizza Hut or something, and then he'd go buy a brand new car, a big screen TV, and then, of course, 6 months later, he was taking it all back, or was getting repoed.
No more Pizza Hut commercials.
That's it. They went away pretty quick.
Were you doing commercials back in the day? You're a good-looking dude. Were you?
I didn't. I never really. I was a terrible auditioner for anything. Okay. I got real close to a Pringles one once. Yeah. Thought I had it. And it went away.
Oh, I thought I had it.
I lost it to Joel McHale.
Oh,
back
he's
in
a tall drink of water,
we were like we were always in the same audition rooms together.
Sure.
Yeah, and then
Joel McHale is a much more imposing dude than people realize because he's like 6'5",
and he's even more jacked up than he's ever been.
Yeah, he was a football player, I think, at like University of Washington or something.
Right, yeah.
But so the guy, people go, "What do you do?" And he goes, "Just push-ups."
I know.
He does like 500 push-ups.
Yeah,
that's all he does.
For real?
Push-ups
Yes.
and eat apples.
Yeah, he does like a prison workout or something. But
So, he's De Niro in Cape Fear.
He's all jacked up.
Yeah, he really is.
Push-ups.
So you were losing Pringles gigs to McHale.
I was losing I lost a lot of things to McHale. A Miller Lite commercial to McHale, a Pringles thing to McHale. And we're friendly now. We've become friendly over the years.
He was the Joker to your Batman there for a while.
He really was.
Pringles commercials. See, you go, do you know why I didn't get it? Once you pop, you decided to stop. And that was the problem that we had. We didn't want you to stop.
I think they were releasing a new flavor. It was like a hot new pizza flavor or something, and I just didn't have enough.
You didn't sell it?
I didn't sell it.
You don't read pizza-flavored chips.
I guess not.
Yeah. Well, was that an aspiration for you for a while where you were like, well, I'll act and do stand-up?
That was the aspiration. I went to L.A. to be Andrew McCarthy. I mean, that was the goal.
From New York. Where did you grow up?
New York.
Ronkonkoma.
Yeah, Ronkonkoma. Thank you.
Oh, is that true?
Podcast. Yeah, I'm like holding back all the stuff that I know about Chris to not come off creepy. But yeah, he grew up in Ronkonkoma. His first job was stretching canvases.
That's right, at the Scandali Art Company. You got it. Yeah.
Well, no, this past weekend, I had a buddy of mine in town. He and his girlfriend, and I hadn't seen him in 15 years.
Right.
But he lives in Pittsburgh. And his girlfriend, and they've been together for a little while. I hadn't met her before, so it's like my wife and I are meeting her, and I'm catching up with my friend.
Right.
And his girlfriend's from Long Island.
Okay.
And I said, "Where are you from?" And she said, "There's a town right near Ronkonkoma called like Centerville or
Centereach.
Centereach is where she's from." And I said, "Is that near Ronkonkoma?" I go, "I know a couple of towns because I dated a girl from Ronkonkoma.
Lucky you.
I knew a girl from Mineola." Which is closer to the city.
Yes.
And then I knew a girl from Ronkonkoma, and she goes, "It's right next to Ronkonkoma."
Yeah.
So for a half a second, it sounded like I knew what I was doing.
It's where the USA roller skating rink was that I used to go every Saturday night to USA in Centereach, Long Island, and we won. They had a raffle for a ping pong table when I was about 17, 16, and I won the raffle. And my mother, when they called the house to tell us we'd won the ping pong table,
she was pissed.
You would have thought we had won the Mega Millions.
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Freaking out, calling the Better Business Bureau to make sure it was on the level.
Legit. Yeah. This isn't one of those ping pong scams, is it?
I've heard about those.
How many times do you guys play?
We played ping pong about 3 times
exactly.
on it. Then it folded clothes were on it for the next 15 years.
We were watching a show where a guy pulls out a ping pong table, and I say to my wife, I go, "My parents still have a ping pong table in the basement that we literally played less than a dozen times when we were kids."
Chelsea Handler gave everyone a real fancy ping pong table as a gift for one of our final shows on Chelsea. Everybody on the show, all the comedians were on the round table. And most of the comedians at that point lived in like 1-bedroom apartments in Los Angeles. So everyone
got no room for a ping pong
giant ping pong.
And what
table?
constitutes a fancy ping pong table?
It was
a gold lame net. Or?
I think I don't know, whatever. It was like a higher end one. I guess.
Guys, it's top of the line.
Top
all right?
of the line ping pong table. They used to play like at Chelsea's house. There would be like hardcore celebrity ping pong games going on. And
that's when you know. That's when you know you're making serious money because you've bought all the other normal things and you've still got so much. You go ping pong table.
That's
I guess
exactly. What's the best one you got?
Yeah, I want a high end ping pong table.
One.
Yeah,
I want the ones the Asians use.
Yeah,
the Forrest Gump model is what I want.
So they were some hot competitions. Ed Norton. Good ping pong player.
Really?
I know that.
Oh. Okay.
Had I stayed in Ronkonkoma, I wouldn't know that Ed Norton was a good ping pong player.
So your time on Chelsea Lately, which is how a lot of people, even if somebody goes, "How do I know the name Chris Franjola?"
Yeah.
Chelsea Lately,
right?
Because that was a big springboard for a lot of comics. Yeah. Were you rubbing shoulders in those heady ping pong days there? Were you rubbing shoulders with Eddie Norton? And
I was. I was invited because I was a writer on the show, so I was tight with Chelsea. So I'd get invited to all the fun like house parties. That was just me. And I often thought I was accidentally invited. I'm like, she must have like another Chris in her phone,
right?
And is texting me to come to the party. And then I got there, I'm like, there's nobody else here from the show, but it's just Charlize Theron and Sandra Bullock, and Chris Martin.
It's all megawatt stars.
Yeah, and it was me. And I'm like, she must have. I think she probably wanted Chris. I don't know, Cornell or somebody else. It's not me. But I got invited.
Well, let's hope it works out better then.
Yeah.
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 But still, I think that.
But it goes to show that she could trust you around them without being a weirdo.
You could hold your own.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean,
you were jaded as a writer.
At this
so
point,
I've
kept all the stories to myself.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'll let a few out every now and again. But Robin Wright Penn at the time, I think she was Penn.
Yeah.
Now she's not anymore. But she showed up to her house with 2 Chipotle employees, and this isn't a joke. I guess they were
employees. They were bound and gagged.
Yeah, no, I guess they were closing the Chipotle, and they said, "We'll stay open for you," because she was going to bring food to the place or whatever. And she said, "All right, well, you could." She's a bit of a kooky cat.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, so she said, "You can come with me to the party." So she invited the 2 Chipotle employees with her. And here are these 2 guys who were working at Chipotle 20 minutes before. Now they're sitting, I'm not kidding, with like Sandra Bullock on the couch.
Yeah.
And at the end
these are
of
the
night,
greatest stories these guys have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of the night, they handed out Chipotle, like 20% off Chipotle coupons.
Wow.
Everybody. I think everyone here is
literal
going to be fine.
millionaires.
Yeah. They can handle the burrito.
I thought you were going to say they started like passing like burritos to people instead of like Trump with the paper towels. They just start tossing burritos
Or they
at
just
people.
they're like, actually, I have a script too.
Yeah.
In case anybody wants to read it.
My
read
one
my
takeaway
treatment,
from all that is
it's about a burrito,
everyone's
chef.
insane. Like that's, my takeaway from hanging out with those type of people is everyone's a little off, and that's why they're famous. Because if you're normal, you can't handle that type of scrutiny and people staring at you all the time. So you got to be a little off.
Yes.
I find that to be true.
Well, not only to seek that out, but also as a way of life.
Right.
But then to be able to sustain it.
Exactly.
Right? Because for everybody who gets into it, it's a little weird when you start getting recognized or you get some measure of fame. But then after a while, and no matter how long you're in it, it just becomes normal.
I
guess. Then nothing is abnormal.
Nothing is right.
There's that old line about like the age at which you become famous is the age at which you stop emotionally maturing. So like child stars have such a terrible time and a hard time getting up, so it's like, and people will go, I'm glad that I didn't really hit it until I was like early 30s or, mid 30s or whatever.
I don't know what you're talking about because Britney Spears seems like she's got it all together.
Listen, man, I'll tell you
what. Same with Kanye.
Yeah. They figured it out.
Yeah, I feel
they're
like
okay.
We still have to go back to Ron Howard as the one person who seemed to made it through like child stardom to be semi-normal.
Well, because
and that was
he even got
60
bullied
years ago.
As a child star. They weren't doing pinups of Ron Howard.
Good point.
They're like, he's just this redheaded kid. He's Andy Griffith's son, and now he's on Happy Days, and he was always kind of a joke, so he had to prove himself the whole time, whereas you have other child stars, they're like, they can do nothing wrong.
Right.
And then they get the big head. He didn't have that.
Yeah,
he had to prove something.
Yeah,
Ricky Schroeder's having a tough time.
Ricky Schroeder's having
a little bit of it.
Even like the Fred Savage, who we thought was normal for a minute. It's like, oh, this guy seems okay. And then now that's over.
Yep.
So.
Bateman's kind of come full circle to where he's doing okay again.
He's had a rough time.
But he had a fallow period there.
Oh, yeah. Did he ever?
Chris Franjola is, not only is he very funny on social media and very prolific on social media.
Well, yeah.
I'm one of those guys where it's like, well, I don't want to do this because it's going to be stupid. You do so much stuff because you're just throwing it against the wall.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
difference.
Yeah,
you do all the dumb stuff.
No,
Alan
it's
would
all,
never do.
No, it's all great. I mean, it's like it's funny and it's like it's relatable and whatever because you're that guy. I'm not that guy, but I mean,
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard. It's hard to do that stuff. And then there is stuff that's stupid. It stays up for 24 hours, and I'm like, should I just pull it down?
But you and Spade are both really, really good at just like everyday stuff with putting like a weird thing on.
I kind of ripped him off. I worked on his show Lights Out with
did you really?
Yeah, which I thought was going to be the next 10-year running show for me.
Right.
It lasted about 10 months.
Yeah.
So I thought that was going to be the...
Was that because of him or them?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
And COVID. A lot of COVID.
Right.
But they could have stuck around a little bit longer. When COVID hit hard, they were just trying with no studio audience, whatever.
Right.
I think it was more work than Spade thought it was going to be. He's not a
People don't realize how much of those.
Yeah, he's not a daily working guy. He never has been.
Right.
Maybe SNL, but outside of that, he's a guy who just comes in, does his job, and leaves. This was all him.
Chelsea Lately was a nightly show, right?
Nightly show.
Yeah.
That's
so you kind of knew that.
Oh yeah, I knew what it was. Yeah. So.
But then you see other people coming into that space, and you're like, oh, you have no idea what this is going to be.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
But even now with your podcast, which is Cover to Cover with Chris Franjola, you do
thank you
1 free episode every week, and then you do the Patreon episode. So like you're still churning out a ton of content, and it's just kind of more on your terms now.
Yeah, but it's in my garage now, which is so nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah. It's just what you have to do at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's a very funny show, too, and it's
Thank you,
just
Bill.
very you take all the topics, kind of what we do on here a lot, where it's a lot of topical stuff, and you just kind of throw it around the room and then end up doing a lot of dumb lists and stuff like that and putting your spin on it. I love it.
Well, I watch a lot of you guys on Instagram and stuff, and I love this format. You know, that's why I did it, because this is the format that I like. You know, just going through the topics of the day and having fun with it. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Right.
I feel like TV's dying for something like that again, and I don't know why nobody does it.
Because they always try and put a new spin on it rather than just do the basic thing.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so...
Chris is right around the corner at Hilarities. 2 shows tomorrow night and Saturday, 7 and 9:30. Friday and Saturday, you can go to pickwickandfrolic.com. Chris Franjola on social media. The podcast is cover to cover. All very funny stuff. It's great seeing you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
you too.
in. Hopefully it won't be so long next time.
I hope not. Alan.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, go get a nap or something. I know
that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Yeah. This has been a long one.
Enjoy all that our fine city has to offer while you're here.
I don't leave the 2-block radius.
Good for you.
Yeah. I'll figure something out.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll be back after this.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
Tomorrow afternoon.
High drama in the Bronx.
Game 2. Guardians, Yankees.
First pitch at 1:07.
October happens here.
It's October baseball. All bets are off.
100.7
WMMS.